Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from the Moose on the Loose. Happy Thursday. Today we're talking about the best investment deals for Canadians, and this is called the Canadian Financial Summit. I told you about it yesterday. Again, you can register for free at dividendstocksrock.com/financial-summit. And I want to do a deep dive here on a few interviews few classes I want to watch and tell you a little bit more about this summit. First, because it's a great initiative. It has been around for several years now. It's being made by my good friend Kyle Prevost and his team and partners over at $1 Million Journey, and they are doing a crazy great job here. One thing that I love is the whole virtual summit is 100% free. And yet it adds on a lot of value. So you may think, well, how come a free summit could not be just like a huge advertisement to sell products? Well, here's the thing. You need to understand how it is being built on the other side, like how the financial summit is being built to be profitable and still not being just like a gimmicky long list of financial advertisements. So first, they have sponsor. I'm one of them this year, so super proud to sponsor the Financial Summit with Retirement Loop. So yes, you're going to see some ads. You're going to have like some people talking about their stuff. But it's not that much. Most importantly, we all do it for free, or at least I'm not getting paid for that. So if someone else is getting paid, I'm not getting a good deal. But anyways, that's the great way to do it. And the third thing is you can purchase like a VIP type of ticket to watch everything, not live, so with the replays. So this is how they are able to make money out of the event, even though most of it is free. So if you want to watch it live, it's great because you're going to save a lot of money and you're going to get all that information. So what is my class on this one? Well, I talk about defined pension plan and tax optimization. A lot of people think that because they have a defined pension plan, they're golden. They don't have to do anything and they just have to set, and it's basically a budget retirement planning stuff. You get $70,000 a year. It's indexed with inflation. You just have to manage your budget accordingly and then you're done. But there are a lot of other things that you can do to make it even better. So you can manage your other withdrawals. You can manage how you receive your income. You can understand when to take CPP and OAS with the defined pension plan. Super important. Trying to smooth your taxes that you pay, your tax rate over time. So those are strategies that we discuss. And one other thing I want to highlight is if you have a pension and your spouse doesn't have a pension, what happens if you die early? Which kind of clause have you selected, like in terms of survivor benefit, like 30%, 50%, 100%. So all of those clauses are super important because if you pass away early and you decided to take the big pension and only have a 33% survivor benefit, maybe your spouse are going to be in trouble. So you want to take a second look at that. So this is what we talk about. But there is a lot more than just my interview with Kyle on this one. One segment I'm really interested about is the best value non-US snowbird destinations. You know me, I love traveling, and I'm thinking as I'm going to retire or partially retire, whatever, probably not going to live in Quebec 12 months a year. Probably I'm going to travel a bit more, spend a few months abroad. And the discussion in this segment is how you can make that happen in Mexico, in Thailand, in Portugal. And I'm actually quite interested by those destinations because I've been to Mexico a lot. I spent a lot of time there. I know some people, they retired in an area called San Miguel de Allende. Amazing place, super cheap, got that European feel. The weather is perfect, super safe. So this is the kind of place you want to look at when you're about to retire abroad. Thailand never went, but it's going to be quite interesting. In Portugal, I visited it. Very interesting. Not that cheap though, but yes, it was cheaper than Canada. So I'm not too sure how this one's going to play out, but it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Another one that may attract your attention is the segment by Ed Rempel, who's a well-known financial planner. I think he's in Ontario, and he's going to talk about, is it relevant to have a 100% equity portfolio at retirement? I'm really curious to know his take. My take personally on that question, this is my plan. Actually, it's not really 100% equity because I want to have a cash wedge on the side to cover for my expenses. I've already explained that several times on the show, so I'm not going to talk about the cash wedge today. But I intend to have everything else besides the cash wedge invested in the exact same strategy I'm following right now, which is focusing on dividend growth investing. So companies that are not only paying a dividend, but most importantly, are able to increase their dividend payouts every year by at least 5%. Roughly, that's the investment strategy I have. It has been working for me for the past 15 years. I don't see why I would change my strategy because I'm super happy with it. I'm feeling confident about the sustainability of this strategy over time. So those are great points when you want to retire, you want to you do it stress-free, you want to enjoy life. Well, there's no other ways better than to focus on what has brought you to retirement, right? Another one that will quite be interesting is index investing versus stock picking from like what the data says. Always good to see what is the difference between index investing and stock picking. The data will add another layer of information there. Probably that in most cases, people should probably not stock pick and focus on just one broad ETF. The problem I've seen though over the years is when people starts to invest into ETFs, they kind of like, they still want to have that control, which you actually have to give away when you invest in ETFs. So they're building portfolios filled with plenty of ETFs. So they have like a dozen ETFs. They're trying to do different strategies in there. They called it diversification. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that it's probably not index investing. So it's just like you're adding a little bit more stuff to your portfolio. Probably a lot of overlap in those cases. So not convinced it will work. But anyways, I focus on stocks. So that's why I'm not convinced about investing in ETF. Finally, one that is, I don't like to think about that, but I think it's kind of important though, is the impact of a divorce at retirement. And don't worry, I have no plan whatsoever of getting divorced anytime soon. But that changes a lot of things when, especially if you divorce in your 40s or 50s, right before retiring. The whole strategy is going to change at this point, and this segment is going to be quite interesting. So anyways, that's a very fast overview. As you can see, it's quite diversified. There are like dozens of people every day, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, you can get your free tickets, no obligations or anything else at dividendstocksrock.com/financial-summit. I'm going to see you there. If you have any questions or anything else, leave them in the comments on YouTube. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions or to take down your suggestions for other topics. It's going to be fun. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to manage capital gains at retirement. It's going to be quite interesting. Until then, don't forget to stay invested.